Hi there, traders. This is Brad Gilbert with the weekly kickoff. All right, now just looking at the markets, really starting the week on a really positive note. No sort of major volatility around the weekends. Last week we saw a little bit of dollar weakness, and now the currencies are sort of just drifting sideways, right? And this is very nice to see because it's commonplace, right? The markets just don't go up and down in a straight line. What we're waiting for is something important to tell us whether to buy or sell US dollars or one of the other currencies. And this week, the calendar looks pretty amazing, right? And that's primarily because we do have the US CPI numbers coming out on Tuesday, right? You couldn't have asked for a better number to come out at a better time where the technicals are primed. We've got a bit of dollar weakness, we've got trend lines across the markets, and this is really showtime. And the good thing about the inflation numbers, it does come with some sort of aggressive moves if there's some variance in the numbers, but it's not like non-farm payrolls where we've got 4 or 5 different numbers to try and digest before we work out whether we're buying or selling, right? So I'll be running through this particular setup, right, with the live sessions tomorrow, looking at the perfect trade setup because you know what, if we get the technicals lining up very nicely and then we get something like the US CPI to overlay, we could have a very easy trade on a number of different pairs, right? So maybe tune in for that if you're not sure about what's happening there. Now, let's just have a quick look through the week. Okay, you've got important week for the Aussie RBA expected to cut rates. We'll see what they've got to say about their statement and press conference. You've got Tuesday as well, UK employment numbers, European and German ZEW numbers, and then it runs into the inflation numbers. This is a really well-structured week. I mean, day, I should say. It is a well-structured week as well, but the day is just, there's something for everyone. In the Australasian session, European, and then in the North American session. And that's going to potentially set us up for a really good week, right? When you get clear direction, all we need is really clear direction here. And weaker numbers, for me, works in with the technical setups. That'll see, if we come back to the charts, that'll see Euro, once again, kick into gear. Okay, sterling kick into gear, top side, Aussie and Kiwi, and the dollar pairs start to sort of tread lower, right? That's what we're looking for. Weaker US CPI numbers is going to be a bit of a dreamboat scenario for us because it takes a lot of risk out of the market. When you know where it's going and then you get the fresh momentum from the inflation numbers, it's pretty awesome. Coming into Wednesday, now this is the key part. You look at the Tuesday inflation numbers, and then you come into Wednesday, there's nothing really to upset the momentum. So the momentum that comes out of those inflation numbers should be in the market for 24 to 48 hours at least, right? If we get variance, I mean, it does dominate the overall trend for the dollar over the coming weeks, but I'm talking like really clear direction as we come through Wednesday. And it's not really until you get into the Asian session on Thursday that we start to get some more numbers to work with, right? Aussie employment numbers, right? Fresh after the RBA interest rate cut on Tuesday, that could signal the next cut, right? That's what I'm talking about. We're starting to get where the numbers are loading up on the central banks and they are going to start having to act, gives us easy trading opportunities there. Then you come into the GDP numbers out of the UK, employment numbers out of the Eurozone, US PPI, jobless claims on Thursday. And then you come into Friday, probably a big chance for the Aussie and Kiwi traders in the Australasia session with Chinese numbers. You got US retail sales, Empire State Manufacturing, industrial production numbers. So, and the Michigan or University of Michigan consumer sentiment numbers there as well. So there's a bit of everything every day. But the key to the whole framework this week is definitely Tuesday's CPI numbers, right? US CPI. As I said, if we get really clear direction here, they are looking for, year on year on the core side, slightly stronger, but it's these bottom numbers, right? This is the ones we're really looking for. And they are looking for a 0.1% increase in year on year, slightly lower month on month, right? I'll cover it a bit more detail tomorrow, especially in that live coaching session, the perfect trade setup. And not only what it is, but how to find it, anticipate it, and then nail it, right? That's the key to it. So as we come into trading on Monday today in the Asian session, the live signals, well, we're getting a lot of really gorgeous setups here on the majors. The signals, well, momentum drops off Friday, right? So we're just starting to reconnect to the market. Keep an eye on the alerts as you go through Monday into Tuesday. And that's where we can sort of really piece together some good trading opportunities. I'm really expecting, I mean, I did expect last week to move a little bit more. It took a couple of days to get the move, but it did show us patience, does pay off in the end, right? And the looking across the board here, when we got good market conditions, you know it because the live signals, they light up like a Christmas tree. And that should give you confidence to come in and start exploring around the various instruments, right? Okay, don't just take our word for it with the signals. Get in there, have a look at the setups, and really confirm the best trade, because sometimes you're going to have 5 or 6 different trading opportunities to pick from. Now, the more you know about the market, technically and fundamentally, is going to allow you to place the trade with the lowest risk, highest probability of success. All right. A lot of the time, that level of probability isn't the same, but with your knowledge and skills, you'll be able to isolate those best trades. All right, guys. Well, that's it. As I said, like this, it's a shame like the week isn't like this all the time. It sort of reminds me back of the sort of early mid-90s where we just had good, consistent data. You could piece the pieces together and you got nice, easy trades, right? So let's take advantage of that. And if you have any issues, just jump on the Discord. And we'll try and work out where that cash is. All right, guys, have a good one. All the best. Cheerio.